Hey, people. It poured down rain last night, and I was expecting my turtle to come back. I got him some fresh salsa, but I don't think he liked that bread. But best chances are he's out sunning. I seen my lizard was out sunning this morning. I'm sure they're all together. They're all reptiles, and they need the same thing. This one's hard to see. He found a piece of coral to sit up on top of. He blends in real well. So I've been reading, and I found some mind-blowing shit. The more I've been learning, it's harder to blow my mind anymore, but I found something that blew my mind this morning. And I told you I found this 200-year-old English to the Duchess, the Witch's Dictionary. And I found some stuff that blew my mind. And it was in this word, aweisen. To show, to indicate, to point out, to direct. If you look, it's going down to the W-E-I-N's, the wine, where it's coming from. And then it goes to the W-E-I-S, L-M-N-O-P-Q-R-S. Jump the gun. But this S, this is I used to think they had two different S's. One was just a final S, and one was the same S, but when it wasn't final, they looked more like the F, and it actually comes from the letter P, or F, L-M-N-O-P. And so it's pronounced as a S, the wise. That's where the word philosopher come from, the wisen, the wise, a wise man, a wisen. To show, to indicate, to wisen them up. Hey, get up in my face again and I'm going to wisen you up. And it means to show proof, a wisen. And it's where your word philosopher comes from. It's not somebody who just runs their mouth, but it's somebody who has proof and looks for evidence of what they're saying. The wisen. But it's actually coming from the W-E-I-F-E-N, which is pronounced as the S. And you can see the proofs right here. If you go on down, you see it comes back to the S again, the wise. And so this was a L-M-N-O-P. This was spelt with the P, and then the Q-R-S. And then back to the S again. You see it in the middle of a word. Usually they use the other one for that. And so this is 1800, and so it has to do with the language change, but the language change was going on before this, and this was just trying to smooth it out into the language. You see where the word white comes from, and it's the W, so the E is the H, and the I is the Y. It means why. And so that's where this Y is coming from, wise in. Y is in. And somebody who's always asking why, looking for the reason, W-E-I, W-H-Y, the wiser, the shower. Teacher. And I'll leave you the link to where I found this. And I also found a better definition for the word art in here. But the word I was looking for when I found this is the wifin, the W-E-I, and after the E-I, the F pronounces the S, and it's a wisen, the wisen, the philosopher, the reasoning behind, the why is in. The Y is in, the Y if in. And so the Y if in at has. And God said, no, he said it with a reason. There's a purpose for all this. Somebody with a philosopher, somebody looking for the reasoning behind. And so the Y is in, at has, is the same word in the Hebrew as the old Y-yammer. And so a why-emmer is for somebody who's always looking for the reason. But why? That's how the hell I got here. I am a why-emmer. Why? I don't believe nothing nobody tells me. I have to look for the proofs. It's where your word, the philosopher's stone, come from. It means a stone, a hard evidence. Philosopher's stone. Philosophers are always looking for evidence to prove his theory. And that's where your word why-emmer, the philosopher, and the wifin, the Y is in. The why isn't it has. The philosopher. The solid evidence. And so that's the first time it comes up, Genesis 1:3, the first time God says anything, let there be. And why is in, the reasoning behind. And then the second time it comes up, is, and let there be a firmament. Why is in, it has, the reasoning behind, the stereoma, the surrounding. And then the third time it comes up, is on the third day, and why is in, it has. And this is where your word to give a toot comes from. And it was so. And we give a toot. We give a toot as. And so when you don't give a toot, you don't care for the reasoning behind. I don't give a toot. But we give a toot as. We give to of what as. And so your English translation is total trash. The Sarah by no way means dry land. You see it better on when it comes down here, the Saran, the Saran. You know what Saran wrap is? It's clear. Google will try to tell you that this word was formed by a combination of John Riley's wife and his daughter's names, Sarah and Ann. A total crock of shit. It means clear. And as you read more into here, you can see the proof. The why is in. And so this why is in comes up on the third day. Right after the second day comes the third day. On the first day, you separated the light from the dark. And the second day, you separate the waters from above from the waters below. And so that's here. The first day, you separate the fire from the water. And so you're separating the wedding. When you put the two of these together, you have the Star of Israel, the wedding. And on the second day, you divide the waters from above from the waters below. And that gives you 4 cardinal points to start with. And then on the third day, is the why is in it has a snatch that two. Let come together and pull them to snatch that two. And this is easier to read in the Hebrew. The first day was, before you matched. Y-U-M-A-C-H-D. Before you matched. And the second day, creating the firmament. And then Y-Emer. All him let be. The R-F-I-O. That's the same word for the firmament. It's a radio frequency. A high intensity radio frequency. An H-I-R-F. HERF. Or a high intensity radiated field. A radio frequency, energy of a strength sufficient to adversely affect either a living organism or the performance of a device subjected to it. And the proof in the Y-Emer, all him make HERF, the high intensity radiated field, the job, the J-O-B, the job took, and HERF job took to make the firmament. To separate the waters, to divide the waters from below, from above. And this was on the second day, and it's before J-U-M-S-I-N. Before jumps in. Before you jumps in the water, you separate them. And so on the third day was the ground, and Y-Emer, all him, and the philosopher, at all him, make few two. Make few two. Few means 3. To be gathered together 3. To make 3 connect. Make few two. Make few two in the hemi. A hemisphere. And make few to the hemi from. The hemisphere. Mit it. With it. To with it the sim. The same. This is the word for the names. What's similar, the simum. What's similar, all from few matched. All from few matched. And the water in A-E is E-S. The water is they base. And so the dry land, is the water is they base. The dry land The water is the base symbol of the dry land. Water is the base. And why and hence. And so reading this Y, H-I-C-N, is heighten. And that means to encourage, to speed it up, to heighten them up. But the tack here, when you read it the second time, you're reading it as why hence. From this time forward, why hence. And it was so. And called God the dry land, the arts, the earth. And as I was looking for this same word, the old wise, and sure enough run into the word art right there by it. And it's explaining what the mean art means in the Bible right here. And this art is the species, the kind. So it's not just the earth, but it's the type of. And the collection of the waters he called seas. But it's what it's saying is gather the three similars, three heavens, the three same is. And you got your three fires. And you got your three waters. And it's telling to collect the threes together. And so this is the part that really blowed my mind. Not as much as it would have if I'd have figured this out years ago, but it's talking about how God created the universe with the Word. And if some aliens ever show up, they're going to speak this same English language that we speak today. And so when you get the three airs, the airs are Pisces and Cancer and Scorpio. And so you think about, what the Pisces has to do with the air. Well, Pisces are fish, and it's also feet. And it means the smell, the air that you breathe. And so this means this air. But air is also Cancer. And what does Cancer have to do with the air? Cancer is passed down through hereditary. It's hereditary, the Cancer, the air. And so to deduce what the hell this Scorpio means, he's holding a couple thunderbolts. And the only other kind of air I can think is the press, to air, to put it out there for everybody to see, the air. And I was remembering back in my Navy days, the radioman, that was his symbol, was the lightning bolts, to air. So did they have radios when they wrote this? Did they know that the firmament was created by a HIRF, a high-intensity radio frequency? When I started reading this, I was a non-believer. I didn't believe this story of creation, but I'm starting to believe a story of creation. It blows my mind how they created the language and the universe, and everything fits in this ancient English language. And so they'll tell you a story about all these ancient alchemists were always trying to find the philosopher's stone to turn lead into gold. And so that's 100% truth, except you don't understand what alchemist means, and you don't understand what a philosopher's stone is, and you don't understand even what lead or gold is. But the alchemist is the battle, is what they'll say it is in the Hebrew. It's the war. That was the war. And so the philosopher's stone is hard evidence, so that he was at war with a hard evidence to turn lead into gold, to turn PB into AUR. PB is an ancient word for lead. It's where your word plumbing come from. It's also the number 82, way back before anybody was supposed to know the atomic weights of these elements and the count of electrons in the field. And they were trying to turn the PB into the AU. A PB, the mouth to speak the word in. The word in. They were trying to turn the word in to A, the knowledge, Vav, connected, the knowledge connected. Trying to turn the word into the knowledge connected. And knowledge connected is the light, the AUR, the light, the knowledge connected first to make the light. And so when it talks about these alchemists trying to turn lead into gold, they were trying to make sense of what actually said in the Bible, because somewhere in there was some knowledge lost. So I just picked up a little more knowledge to put on my headstone. So I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.